Hey guys, what's going on? In this video, I want to talk about some simple ways that you can incorporate more functional movement into your training plan. The biggest misconception about functional movement is that it just takes a ton of extra time. And today in this video, I want to share with you 3 ways that you can incorporate more functional movement without disrupting your entire routine. But first, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss a thing. Let's get right into it with option number 1. The first way that you can start to incorporate more functional movement is with a pre-run dynamic warm-up. You guys have heard me talk about this before, but it is one of the most basic, simple, fundamental ways to get more functional movement. And I think it's one of the most overlooked aspects of training when it comes to running. As runners, and I'm guilty of this myself, we want to just like get out there and do the thing. So we throw on all our stuff and we head out the door. But this tiny window of time, 5 to 10 minutes spent moving in a focused manner, can really help to up your game. And not warming up the body is a kind of a big mistake. It really sets you up for potential injury. And here we're going to talk about dynamic movement versus static. We'll get to static in a minute, but dynamic is really what you want this pre-run warm-up to be. But let's just talk real quick about why you would want to do it in the first place, aside from the fact that I keep harping on it and keep telling you that it's so important. First, it helps to bring more blood and oxygen to the muscles. Second, it gives your central nervous system time to kind of warm up and get tuned in to what's coming down the line. Third, it allows for a slow rise or a slow increase in your heart rate for the same reasons that we talked about with your central nervous system. You don't just want to go from 0 to 60. You want to give the body time to acclimate to what's coming up. And number 4, it enhances your performance by way of reducing your incidence of injury. So let me say it just one more time. A pre-run dynamic warm-up is the first and simplest way to start to get more functional movement into your routine without completely disrupting it. It takes like 5 or 10 minutes to just kind of get the body moving in 360 degrees so that you can go farther, faster, and stronger. And if you're like, yeah, this is great, but I don't really know what constitutes a pre-run dynamic warm-up, dive into the notes below and sign up and I'll send you mine. I have this video that I made that I will send to you that basically walks you from head to toe how to warm up to get ready to go for a run. Option number 2. The second way that you can incorporate more functional movement into your routine without completely blowing up your routine is with a post-run stretch. So just bookend that run with a little bit of a warm-up and a little bit of a cool-down stretch. Now, I myself have been guilty of this on many occasions where I just end my run, I strip down, take a shower, refresh my clothing, and just move on with the rest of my day. But I'm really missing an opportunity there to do something good for my body. What video was it? Oh, let's see, I think it was back in my pattern overload video. I think we talked about the optimal length-tension relationship in the muscles. Your muscles have this optimal length-tension relationship, and to keep this in check, we need to spend a little bit of time stretching and doing some focused work on your body. So muscles, tendons, ligaments, all the joints, right? We need just a little bit of time to hone in on those things. And that's going to keep the body in good working order, which is ultimately what we want, right? That's what's going to allow us to keep running. Let me put it another way. Hopefully this analogy lands with you, but if you have a car, you wouldn't continue to drive the car around town without putting gas in it or taking it for regular oil changes, getting the tires rotated. You wouldn't do that. And if you did, ultimately the whole thing would probably just blow up. So think about the body as the car, right? You want to be able to run, drive. And so in order to do that, you need to do the regularly scheduled maintenance that goes along with owning a car, a body, right? Keep that in mind. Post-run, the body is warm and pliable. So this makes it a prime opportunity to do static stretching. Let's talk real quickly about dynamic versus static. Dynamic means that there's a lot of movement. So in a pre-run dynamic warm-up, you'll be moving around a lot and not holding any stretches or positions for too long. We want to simply move the body in 360 degrees in the greatest range of motion that you've got to help warm up. When we talk about post-run stretching, this is where we can bring in the static. Static just simply means that we're going to pick a couple poses. I aim for 3, and we're just gonna hold them a little bit longer. If you're looking for some guidance and you just don't really know where to begin, I'll link some resources up here that you can check out and start incorporating into your own post-run stretching time. And again, this doesn't need to take a ton of time, 5 to 10 minutes, pick 3 poses, 3 stretches, 3 areas of the body that are really calling to you, and focus in on those. So less is more here. The third option for including more functional movement into your routine without completely disrupting the entire thing is to look for some different opportunities to move. Here are 3 of my favorites. First, while the coffee is brewing. So in the morning, I'll come down, let the dogs out, feed them, put together my coffee, and while I'm waiting for it to brew, I'll go through and do some head and neck cars. I might move my shoulders, I might do some spinal roll downs, might work my hips, and just kind of move in a way that feels really good and helps me to wake the body up. Another opportunity is when I'm doing the laundry, and particularly if I've gone downstairs and I've beat the cycle, meaning the laundry isn't ready to switch over yet. I have some time. It doesn't make sense for me to go upstairs and do something else. I'll just stay and wait for it to finish. That's another opportunity where I'll just, again, kind of do a self-assessment and think, okay, where could I really use some help? And I'll focus on that area. Doesn't have to be long or formal or anything like that. I just move around. And the last one is one of my favorites, is while I'm watching TV. I typically don't sit still very well, so sitting still and trying to watch like a whole movie or a TV show isn't necessarily my thing. This is a time where I will get down on the floor, do some stretching, maybe grab a tennis ball or my foam roller and work on some specific areas that might have been bothering me over the last 24 to 48 hours. So those are just 3 examples. You can certainly come up with your own instances. There have also been times where I've been at a bike race waiting for my husband, and I'll just be at the car waiting for him to come back, and I'll be that weird person doing some yoga in a parking lot at a bike race. There are tons of different opportunities where you can find to move, and it is these kind of micro moments where you can start to inject some functional movement and really take back the time in your day and make little bits of incremental progress towards moving better in 360 degrees. Okay guys, so that's all for this video. If you missed the resources that I linked during the video, I'll put them in the notes below. So the pre-run dynamic warm-up and a couple different ways that you can incorporate some stretching post-run. And don't forget to just look for those little opportunities throughout your day where you could start to just move. It could be at your desk or waiting for your kids in the pickup line. Any sort of moment where you're kind of tied to where you need to be and you can't quite move forward, that's a place where you could start to move a little bit more focused and could help to kind of support your running. As always, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Oh, one more quick thing. You might actually want to check out my private Facebook group called Find Your Ultra. And it's kind of a cool place where I hang out, we talk about running, and every other week I take the group through a functional movement practice of some sort. Could be a full practice, could be a short practice that's focused on hips or shoulders, anything that pertains to running. If you're looking for another fun, cool place to hang out with other runners that really want to up their game, check that out. I'll link that down in the notes below. All right, now I'm really out. Okay guys, see you later. Bye.